Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys my final recap and my final overall thoughts for Food Wars, the 5th play, or Shokugeki no Souma, Go Nosara, and my final overall thoughts for the entire anime series in general. So, if anything else, let's just get this started right here, right now. Summer starts beginning to cook, because, so there's something happening to Erina that seems to be off with Soma. He goes like, okay, what are you doing? Like, this is so not you. And of course, Saizumon, Erina's grandfather is the one that, had all this ready for Erina to grow, And eventually we have to it that, this all depends on the results of the chefs that have been cooking, And we have to it, everybody is watching, that was connected with Yukihira, from his teammates, from his friends, and then the people that was with him, to the very end and in every other season. Yeah, pretty much almost everybody. They end up having to watch and see Yukihira finally present his dish, and he calls Souma-style eggs Benedict over rice fit for a queen, And we have to it that, the other former Elite 10 shows up, with the exception of Rindo Senpai and the others, Eventually, Erina and Mana ends up being actually consumed by Yukihira's dish, the sauce that covers the whole dish. This is a Japanese-style hollandaise sauce accented with yuzu sauce and soy sauce, Even Mana saying, the pork grilled to a crisp that's balanced perfectly, with the light flavors of the shiho kombu and shiho leaves mixed into the rice, And Erina ends up saying the star of this dish, the crispy tempura egg that melts on the top of your tongue, he must have deep fried it after making a poached egg. The egg white couldn't possibly be any softer. The yolk is velvety smooth to the point that it's almost raw, But the fact that he was able to bread that soft-boiled egg, that's utterly impossible unless the chef has superhuman skill. And we have too that Erina's wondering, how much did he improve along the way, huh? This doesn't make any sense. And we have too that Yukihira explains that the eggs Benedict takes you back then, Instead of a muffin, I used the rice you find at a Japanese diner, Then I modified the poached egg, bacon, and hollandaise sauce to fit my style. And of course, Erina remembers she used this thing back in the training camp in season 1. And then Yukihira's wondering, I've been researching what makes your dish so much better than mine, And how's it I could apply it to my own and can make you say delicious someday. And we have to, and Mana is thinking of mind, all the chefs were always the same. As he prepared dish after dish for the god ton, they would eventually atrophy and all the dishes would become dispirited, Even Azami did his best not to hurt me, but he was unable to make a dish that could surpass 100%. Right now, and Soma therefore tells Erina, right now you've completely forgotten who you're cooking for. Honestly, all that whining and whimpering, it's not like you at all. Quit worrying about pointless things and be true to yourself. Who do you want to cook for more than anyone else in the world right now, And everybody gets attacked by Erina and Mana's true gifting, And his dish, and Soma's dish was exquisite. And we have to it that Dojima says all this gifting actually magnified her pulse and everything else altogether. And the funny thing is that Erina says it's disgusting, And she says, this is so unfitting for me and for my mother. Let me show you a dish that's so better than anything else, And of course that got Erina back on track, and that was very good to know. And eventually Erina says, I'm not going to get my butt handed to you that easily, you hear me? Or I'm not going to lose to you. And someone's like, good, because I'm not going to lose to you either. Let's have some fun. And eventually, they end up having a smile towards each other. And, Yukihira took second place, while, Erina took first, and she's very happy. Yukihira Soma's not really satisfied at all, and it was pretty disappointing. And eventually, we also get to know other stuff of what's going on besides the blue, the Elite 10 and the former Elite 10, they also decide to try to find the other former Elite 10 members, that graduated. And then we have some other present Elite 10 members that work together to actually stop the Noir, Their job all together with Hayama, Kurokiba, and then Alice and everyone else, their job was supposed to be disbanding the Noir that had been taking illegal ingredients and everything else all together. With the help of the former Elite 10, such as Saito, Rindo, and Momo Senpai, along with Mimasaka and everyone else, along with Aizen Senpai, who apparently was behind all this, etc. They end up managing to disband and stop the Noir from causing any more trouble than they have to, which is really nice and slick. Even and of course, we have to it that everybody was actually getting ready to maybe we should go celebrate or do something with Yukihira, But unfortunately for them, Yukihira left a note saying, yeah, I'm going to be training overseas or something for several months or more. So later, and everyone's like, what? Are you serious? And then we got to see a scene with Erina and Mana have a daughter-like relationship, but in a way to rivalry, Erina's saying, don't worry, I'm going to make sure I'm making dishes that's going to beat your butt up, okay? But we also get to see a scene which was added from another manga, which is something that's very important too. Like I said, they actually took some material from another separate material that the author wrote, what happens afterwards, Although there were some originals, which I will explain along the way, but yeah, once I'm done with this recap, I'll get to it. Eventually, Azami confessed to Erina about he actually sired a son with someone else in a irresponsible way, and that he's gonna have to go take care of it, Erina slaps him in the face and decides to go pick him up with his father and Hisako, Eventually, they all manage to get Azami to get back with them, and etc. Later on, it goes into a time skip about 6 months later, Erina and the others end up showing at Yukihira's diner, and we had to hey, they all kind of say, hey man, what the heck you been doing, etc. We missed you a lot, and you gave us all the work that was supposed to be your job, but you placed it on us. And Erina's complaining to him by saying, hey, look, I remember you would have failed your freaking you're lucky you did not get held back, okay? Because otherwise it'd be very troubling, And you hear someone's like, hey, I'm appreciative of that, okay? Not much I can tell you about. I'm very grateful, but I just need to do this and grab some skills absorbed along the way and present it to you. And we have two that he decides to feed him one appetizer, which is really hilarious. And it was like what? Squid legs, peanuts soaked in coffee, habanero, sweet and sour pork style. Don't need to hold back. And he gives it to everybody, and they end up, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And then they go like, Matsu! And and it was so hilarious. But at the same time, Erina was always been waiting for Yukihira for a long time, despite the fact that he left her without saying anything. And we have to it that Yukihira says, this time I'm gonna make you say delicious, you hear me? And he says, dig in. And we get to see a final page of the season. It says, hope you enjoyed it and thank you so much for watching, etc. It was pretty fun. Now, I will say, like I said, they put in some material that was originalized, back then when it came to the original material for the manga, I mean, it showed Souma's mother in a more possible detailed perspective way. Compared to this season, they showed bits and parts about Yukihira's mother and how he became his inspiration of that fried rice whatsoever. And then when it came to the other scenes too, Azami, he never had any people following him around, which was the sergeant, and then the other two guys decided to follow Azami. That didn't happen in the manga. And when it came to Erina and Yukihira someone meeting up, that was when they were adult age, Everybody was 25, 20 years old or above, etc., And in the manga, it gave out more detail of what everyone else was doing after they finished high school and Totsuki, Souma continues his path of traveling around the world. Eventually, he gives a call to Erina and the others to come by, and, when it comes to the former Elite 10, they still help out at Totsuki, and then it changed a lot. Souma became a freaking inspiration to a lot of diner chefs, to a point that they wear the same thing onto his left or right hand, and etc. Like I said, in the manga, there was a lot more detail what happened to everybody after they finished high school, I mean, they were all in their 20s to 30s or 25s, while the others, like Shinomiya, had gotten a 3-star rating in the French cuisine world in Paris or something, or France, etc. Although they didn't put out a lot of detail what happened to everybody in general, I hope maybe someday if they ever want to make an OVA, that'd be great. I mean, like I said, in the manga of its finale chapters, they gave out a lot of detail compared to this one. They gave out an original scene and along with some small details of what happened. Instead of like many years past, it becomes 6 months past in this one. And then the same thing happened like in the final chapter of Yukiro Soma, you know, in a different story, in a different true simple finale, you know, that kind of thing. I know what I'm saying is confusing. All I could tell you is that there were there were manga chapters that were adapted into this final episode that changed a bit into another original format, but in a original format. Not a lot of detail was given, you know, like I said, like what happened to everybody else, you know. Asahi, he actually became a professor of Totsuki in middle school and high school, you know, and then everything else all considered. Then, you know, like I said, a lot of detail was missed out in this for this final episode, but they decided to put it in an original format, I guess, to maybe like give a sense of complete, I guess, but yeah. And, you know, the way how it ended with that final shot, I guess that's when everybody is actually grown, you know? It was pretty slick, but that aside, it was still fun. Now, when it came to this, now to give you guys my final overall thoughts for this season. When it came to this season, like I said, including a lot of fans, especially myself and a lot of people who've been watching the series, we had a lot of problems with it. Such as Saiba Asahi having like cross knives and then a chainsaw and many other things. That's when things kind of went downhill. Although when it came to like other stuff, I couldn't see why a lot of people did not like the other seasons too, especially season 4. But I'll get to that just I'll talk about that again in my moments. But let's talk about season 5. It was problematic. There's no denying that. Now I could say it out loud and then like tell you guys how I feel. You know, the cross knives was kind of BS, let's be honest with you. And then when it came to like the other chefs, the way how they like presented their like special tools whatsoever, I still consider that BS whatsoever. But that aside, like I said, there was certain logic that was lost in this season, you know, and that's became problematic for a lot of people, and there's no denying that. I mean, like when it came to like to this season, there was a lot of issues, so that's the reason why I struggled real hard to figure out what to give it, you know. And you know, like I said, it's a 4 or 5 out of 10 for me. When it came to the other seasons, though, I still really enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoyed season 1, and then I enjoyed season 2, and then you know season 3, and you know the OVAs were just like just fan service kind of thing, etc. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed season 1, season 2, season 3, and then, you know, season 1, season 2, and season 3, you know. I really enjoyed them very, very much. But yeah. And of course, like when it came to season 4, I could see a lot of people not liking it because of where it went. But for me, I think it was still enjoyable for me, even though like it was like pretty simplistic and nothing much has happened, etc. And when it came to season 5, like I said, it had a lot of issues, but the way how it ended, I think it was a nice finale. So, yeah, you know, all I can really give you guys a big, simple recap of a summary about all the seasons together. It's just Yukihiro Souma having to grow as a chef, but also help Erina grow as a chef as well. Eventually, he will meet other people that will challenge him or be his true rivals to a point where he will be able to beat them later on in the future. And this last season, you know, let's be honest. Throughout maybe the last couple of seasons or something, this has always been a Nakiri family drama kind of thing going on. There's no denying that. I mean, it was shown when Azami showed up, and then like it continued on until season 5. You know, I mean, I can see why a lot of people really dislike that, but at the same time, I want to know who Erina's mother is, you know? The fact that she gave birth to a god tongue, I wonder what she was in general, and guess what she is? She's a bookmaster, and now, like, Erina's become a personal chef whatsoever. Yeah, it was... Yeah. So, overall, my thoughts for this entire series in general for the anime, you know, I think they still did a nice job. I mean, I'm pretty sure there must have been some major issues along the way that made a lot of people hate it, you know. I mean, I can understand that completely. Like, for example, I mean, the fan service, you know, there's no denying that, but hey, that's what the series is, you know, and I enjoy the hell out of it. I won't be denying that. And then, I guess when it comes to certain logic, or something, it's where it kind of stood at its best, I guess. And then I think it lost that touch when it came to maybe season 4 or season 5. But I still enjoyed season 4, like I said. I mean, like, it was pretty nice and all, but I could understand why people started hating it. And heck, I didn't like season 5 at all, especially when it came to the manga. I mean, I'm being honest too. I mean, there were a lot of issues when it came to the final arc for Food Wars, especially with Asahi Saiba when he came out of nowhere, etc. Even though some of his backstories may have been shown up, but it still became an issue for everybody in general, especially for me. I mean, like, yeah, I could see what they were trying to get at here. But that aside, I still had my fun with this series. I mean, we all started the series, like, since what? Like, April 2015, and then its second season, 2016, and then, like, third season is, like, 2017, and then, like, there goes 2018, 2019, and then 2020. Pretty much, like, from April 2015 all the way down until the end of September 2020. Pretty much it's gone on for 5 years straight for the entire adaptation of the anime from the manga, Like I said, there was a lot of detail in the manga that I was missed out on, like I told you about in this final episode, etc. And there were some original scenes and so forth, so yeah. I mean, like, it was still, like, a nice season. I think it was still a nice series, I know a lot of criticism will say, hey, it wasn't nice at all, but I guess, like, when I'm just thinking about overall in general, for me, when it comes to the entire season or series, it was still fun. I mean, like I said, there were a lot of issues when it came to possibly for season 4 and 5, possibly, but yeah. Maybe I'm talking and rambling on very vaguely, sorry for that, but that's just me. Anyways, for the overall entire anime series that I want to say and give out on, I'd say, like, maybe a possible 6 to 7 out of 10 for now. 7 out of 10 for now, maybe lower. So that much I can say. I mean, like, all the fan service, and despite, like, certain issues, I still had some fun with it. And yeah, I was kind of emotional the fact that it's finally over. Another series that finished, besides My Teen Romantic Comedy, and now this, it's done. I mean, like, it's been a wild ride, guys. I can't wait to see what's my next journey, but guess we'll have to see. So until then, people, those of you guys who've been keeping up with Shokugeki no Souma up until the very end, despite the issues it had possibly with season 3, season 4, and season 5, I hope you guys had your taste of fun as much as I did. And yeah, that'll be it. It's been it's been 5 years, and now it all comes to an end. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I hope you guys had your fun, and see you guys next time. Alright, peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot. Thanks for enjoying it. Osomatsu.